Hi, I'm Sharon McCaskey from MDVS Business Services, presenting to you another episode of Into Business TV. Now, this one will actually be a little bit longer because I have got a guest, and the guest today is Jo Saunders from
Wildfire Social Marketing.
Excellent. Now, Jo is a LinkedIn specialist.
Yes.
And one of the calls and questions that I get often is LinkedIn suitable for me? Should I have a LinkedIn presence? It's scary, etc. So I thought, well, I'll bring Jo along as a guest today because basically if I have any questions about my LinkedIn presence, the first person I call, well, she wasn't available, so I called Jo. And no, I'm joking. Jo is actually the best one that I have ever come across. She's like me.
Best one.
No, well, what I mean by that, Jo, is that I love the fact that you don't try and bamboozle people with what you know and talk analyticals or down into LinkedIn, this is it, and I'm a spammer, and I can give you half an hour free LinkedIn, it's, hello. It's actually, Jo is one that talks to me, not down to me, and basically makes it explained in a way that's easy to understand. So, couple of questions. Jo, can I ask you, what is the need for LinkedIn? Why do I need a LinkedIn presence? I am just a one-person operation.
Okay. Well, it's aimed at people. So it's aimed at business owners of all sizes. So you've got your big corporates, your CEOs are on LinkedIn. But as a solo business, a micro business, you're the owner of LinkedIn. So you're all equal. You've all got a presence. You're all equally important because it's a person behind your business.
Okay. Well, one of the things that someone said to me the other day, that LinkedIn is a reference section where I can pretty much upload my resume and people can check me out. Would that be all that LinkedIn is?
No, that's one part of LinkedIn, and it's often misconceived as an online CV. And when I first started training, that's one way to explain it because people could relate to that.
Right.
But it is a lot more than that. It's a social network.
Right.
It's a social media
like
platform.
Facebook?
Sort of. It is. A lot of people say it's Facebook for business, in a sense, because it's not as it's social, but it's not as conversational. It's not photos of the gym. I'm here eating this pasta at this restaurant. It's not that sort of conversation. It's more about your business, what you're doing, new developments.
So I've just, like in the last few days, for example, I've revised all my books.
Yeah, so you'll be posting that saying, working on my updates. You could say, what would you like to know about Facebook?
Right.
That's your book.
So basically, the LinkedIn side of things, when I actually uploaded LinkedIn, www.linkedin.com, right, I found that when I actually was to upload all the information, it was extremely user-friendly.
Yeah.
But what I also found as well, that it prompted me to learn more and to actually upload more. Hey, you've missed this, and hey, you've missed that. So it's always that user-friendly.
Yeah, and when you start, you don't have to complete it like I said, all in one hit. You could just put your basic details in, and then work on it over time. Maybe you'll spend an hour a week or whatever, just tweaking it and whatever. Maybe even less. But it's a work in progress. So you've got that capability to do it in steps, and then you get the little reminders, and not necessarily reminders, but tips saying, "Have you thought about filling out this?" It'll click on the button, it brings up that part of your profile, and you fill it in. Simple.
So Facebook only allow you, for want of a better word, through the algorithms, to connect with, say if you've got 300 friends, you only at ever one point in time connect with a percentage. Facebook won't even tell you that percentage because, as Facebook says, Nick says, they don't even know that. And that's a true answer, which I appreciate. The LinkedIn, though, you are always able to know who you're dealing with? Are you always able to have a presence and LinkedIn with everyone of your...
Well, yes and no. It depends. It depends on the size of your network. So, for example, if you've got 10,000 connections, then obviously you're not going to see it all. But if you've got 20 connections, then yes, you are, because you can physically see all that. But it's listed in chronological order on your newsfeed. It's got a newsfeed similar to Facebook, and you can customize that newsfeed. You can choose different groups. You can actually scale it down to that particular network that you want to follow.
So if I wanted to just know about Australian history, I can jump into an Australian history school university group, or I can join a social media group to learn about, like I have on Facebook, join to learn about social media.
Yeah, so if there's a group that you're following, you just then bring up that particular group and you'll see all the conversations in the group in your newsfeed.
Okay, so it's a learning thing as well.
But that's an area that a lot of people miss because it doesn't jump out at you. It's not obvious.
Okay. Yeah. So that's something that you would recommend, to actually join groups.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's where you get the relationship.
That's the power, because being on LinkedIn and having a profile, that's all good and well, but it's one way.
Okay.
You need to get into
the two-way conversations.
Yeah.
All right. So the LinkedIn presence itself. Now, one of the things that I say to people on Facebook is that, depending on your business, but you should have a daily presence, if only for a couple of minutes, just uploading something, making a comment on something, etc. How often should I be on LinkedIn?
Well, it also comes back to the individual. I mean, there's not a one-size-fits-all solution, and that applies to anything, as you know. But with LinkedIn, you might say spend half an hour a week, and during that time, you may decide to tweak your profile, because do a status update. You might want to go into a group, monitor the conversations. You might want to post if you've got a business page, because that's something else you can have now.
So, and I heard that. So basically, you can have a Sharon McCaskey page and an MDVS business page.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. So basically, people can learn about me as an individual, what awards I've won, what I've been involved with, what job I've done, etc., and as well as what the company's involved with.
Yeah, and you can link to it. So within your profile, you've got your company.
Okay.
And it links to so you click on that, it takes you to your company once you've set it up.
Right.
And then we can see what's your business about, what kind of services you have. There's a tab for products and services.
Wow.
And you can have direct links to your website to book and buy those services. So it is valuable, and it's not time consuming once it's set up.
Once it's set up. And I think that's it. It's like the investment of spending the time setting it up means that once you've got it set up, it's got a presence where people can find you, you can interact, etc.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I do want to bring up is that people have been commenting on search engine optimizations and how valuable it is, etc. Yeah. Search engine optimizations are certainly valuable, ladies and gentlemen, but they're not like the old people offshore at the moment, or these people coming in charging you thousands of dollars. To get into a top of a local search, nobody can ever give you number one on Google. Google will actually run away from somebody who tells you they can get you to number one. Google itself have a relationship with social media, and how to get you now closer to a higher search is how much action is under your name. Mm-hmm. Being that if you use Facebook, it gives you more links. If you use YouTube, more links. If you use LinkedIn, more links, and video, more links. So one of the things that I'm finding recently is that people who are looking under a Google search, for example, trying to look for my reflection, Crosby Photography or Lighthouse Photography by Cyrus, both exceptional photographers, and Moose with Christy. What you've got there is if you type those names in, they often now not give you the website first up, but they give you the Facebook or the LinkedIn site first up.
Yeah, that's right, because you're very active. You may be active on those particular sites, but the fact that the sites are active, there's a lot of traffic. It's great for SEO. So often,
search engine optimization.
Yes. And if you've got the sort of website that you're not updating a lot, I mean, I blog a couple of times a week, so I do have a lot of action on my website. But some people have a website they don't touch it for months on end.
Oh, years.
So I mean, you might have had it optimized with your keywords and whatever. And do that in the right way and speak to Glenn Heaton from
Perth Local Marketing.
He is brilliant at that.
Yeah.
But the value is of using your social media network and linking it in, having things cross-pollinated.
Makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, so using links all over the place.
So have you actually got work out of LinkedIn?
Yeah, definitely.
In other words, like people have actually looked on your profile, not known you, and rung you up for engagements and business.
Yeah, I mean,
great.
Not directly like we've just found you, we want to book you in, but they ring for more of a chat to get a feel for it, or they might message me. Or the other big one, which is really important, is the referrals. Like you've got a connection in common. They say, oh, well, this person's connected to Sharon, and she's doing Facebook. I need Facebook training. So, well, the fact that he knows her is really,
Is referrals the same as testimonials, or what are they called on LinkedIn? Recommendations.
Yeah.
Now, okay, the concern I've got with these recommendations is that I've seen on Fiverr.com, and I've seen in other places as well, where at the moment you can, Fiverr.com, someone will go, well, I will pay $5 to give you a good recommendation. So somebody said the other day that the best thing about recommendations on LinkedIn and on Facebook is to sit there and say, I refer Glenn Heaton. Glenn Heaton is ABC123, brilliant search engine optimization, brilliant website designer. For more information, or if you want to refer this on to be a genuine referral, my name's Sharon McCaskey and here's my telephone number. Would you agree in finishing them off like that?
Yeah, actually that's a really good point, because that way you're actually extending that. I mean, they can click on your profile, and that's the thing with LinkedIn, because everything is linked together. So if I give you a recommendation, well, the person viewing it can click on my profile, see who I am, and say, oh, Joe's a spammer. I don't believe a word she says. It looks like a load of crap. But if they look at my profile and go, well, actually, Joe looks like she knows what she's doing, they can then contact me if they want to via LinkedIn and say, Joe, I can see you've done this recommendation, actually quiz her on it, but to make it super easy, you might, like Sharon just said, if you put a phone number on the end of it, it's super, and they probably won't ring you because they can see you've made it so easy for them that it's more
genuine.
Yeah, exactly.
And more honestly. And I think that's one of the things that did concern me is about the referrals, is that too many people are too quick to give referrals, and I think referrals are really important because not only if the referral given is a negative referral, it doesn't reflect just you, the person that's done the work, it reflects on the person that's actually given the referral in the first place. And the worst thing you can do in business is lose that credibility factor. So basically, LinkedIn and your presence on LinkedIn can get you up to a Google search. Once you set the page up, it's actually not that difficult.
No. And just a quick one back to referrals. I had a good point then. About the language. So if you give a very generic referral, Sharon's a great trainer. That doesn't give any value. You need to go into detail and give specifics because it's more. I guess they can relate to it better. So you can say, Sharon, I attended Sharon's Facebook workshop. I got great value. I learned 3 new things that I can implement straight away. If you get more specific, firstly, it's more believable and authentic, and it actually adds value.
Overview as well,
and it's not full of buzzwords and all those whatever's in it at the moment. She's innovative, creative, blah blah. I mean, creative is the top overused word on LinkedIn. There was some survey last year. So just avoid those sorts of things because they're overused and they're not as authentic. You're better off using real words in your language.
So people hate to be marketed at. I know that, and that's one of the things that I find in business now is that we are in a position where people are very genuine and they want to know about doing business with those they know, like, and trust. One of the things that I found by actually jumping onto LinkedIn is that people are getting to know me at a professional level because at a personal level, that's where Facebook's at, and I like that. From my LinkedIn presence, I've recently just picked up another huge contract, and I absolutely believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this particular council that has booked me to do seminars for many businesses in their district would not have booked me if they didn't have the LinkedIn presence, because LinkedIn was where they searched me first before they actually asked me oddly enough to do Facebook seminars.
And that's the thing these days. People are checking all platforms. So LinkedIn is, because it's known to be professional, I mean, recruiters, companies you want to work with are going to be checking on LinkedIn. They're also going to be going over to Facebook and seeing where you're hanging out socially, what you're doing, what you're posting. So just be aware of that and make sure that every channel or platform you use are a good representation of that part of your business.
Absolutely. So, and I'm a big believer in that. You must always be positive. You must always be genuine, and you must always just don't use the buzzwords. I'm creative. I'm an expert. No one's an expert.
Or don't swear either. I mean, unless that's part of your brand. There are some people in my network who very much that was part of their branding, but
swearing.
Oh yeah.
I just swear if we're together, but I'm trying very hard not to.
There are people who swear online a lot. I mean, if it's part of your brand, go for it. But you are going to put off a lot of people and upset people. But you know, no. But that's.
I mean, I'm the first to admit
it personally.
I'll have a drink, and I like a drink.
You don't drink, do you?
Yeah, I do. It's shocking, I know. His face is the face of a 40-year-old woman. No, I'm joking. But in that side of it, I do drink and I do swear. There's no doubt about it. But I know the difference between doing that in business and actually doing it socially.
That's right. There's a time and place, and I mean, whether you choose to do it on Facebook, whatever, that depends on you. But I mean, you definitely would not be doing it on LinkedIn.
No, absolutely.
It's just not
the way to go.
No.
Well, look, I tell you, so basically, just to nutshell it, if that's all right, I'm going to say to you, so LinkedIn is definitely needed to basically work through your Google analyticals and help you get up on a Google search.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to do. You just log on and basically answer all the questions. It's a great place to direct people to if they want to know all about you.
Yeah.
Referrals need to be genuine, and it is really user-friendly. If you do have questions, Joe from Wildfire Social Marketing, Joe from wildfiresocialmarketing.com. What's your number, Joe?
0422 431 039.
0422 0422.
Oh, that's better.
Yep. Takes us off there. 0422
431
039.
039. I'll memorize it soon.
Oh, I know it actually. Joe from wildfiresocialmarketing.com. So
I'm
Joe,
a LinkedIn specialist on call.
Yeah, and Jo's a lot like me. She works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but we also have lots of days off. But one of the things is with these things, we are actually available. And 9 times out of 10, if you ask us really simple questions, we can get them done quickly. If you email and do all that sort of stuff, it can take a little longer.
Well,
but I know you prefer to email. I don't understand that.
Well, because I don't answer my phone. If you're going to ring me at 11 o'clock at night, well,
don't ring at 11 o'clock at night. That's rude.
Email.
But you can text me because I'm often up till 11 o'clock, and I genuinely have no problem with that. I've had people text me on Sundays and call me on Sundays and stuff like that. I have no problems,
but a lot of people are not in that. They're in that 9 to 5 mindset.
Absolutely.
So, but we don't work 9 to 5.
And most time-based businesses don't these days.
No.
Most of them are all out. Well, look, thank you so much, Jo from Wildfire Social Marketing, for giving us the time to talk about LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is needed. It is user-friendly. It doesn't need to be the be-all and end-all of your marketing. It's not going to take you 24 hours of your time. Once you're on there and once you know what you're doing, which really, let's be honest, it will take a couple of weeks to get comfortable with the whole thing. If that. Then you only need to be on there for a very short period of time.
Invest some time in your setup and then work on your strategy and how it fits in with your Facebook, your Twitter, whatever else you're using your blogging. And it won't take that long. Yeah.
And if you don't blog and if you don't Facebook, LinkedIn's still a great place to actually jump on every now and then, because we understand that not everybody's going to blog and not everybody's going to have presence and understanding of how everything goes. But how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So literally start with the LinkedIn, start building that up. Once you feel comfortable, maybe get into blogging, and we'll talk about blogging at another time. So thank you so much. It's Sharon McCaskey from MDVS Business Services, again presenting you a 16-minute and 34 seconds, I know it's a little longer than normal, episode of Into Business discussing LinkedIn. So thank you, Jo. Woo! You can have the last word. What are you going to say to my people?
Awesome. Thanks for listening. And thanks for listening to Sharon.
That's rude.